Hey everyone, this is DeskClock1637 here. I haven't played D3 in like a bajillion years, but really since the last season for like a week. I was testing Wizard and I didn't really like the mixing of the guilds that I was seeing. I don't really like that, or Captain Crimson's. I usually find it moves kind of away from those flat bonuses. Yeah, it's a lot of damage mitigation, especially with elites, but I think you can find better bonuses elsewhere. So what I did was I went off the mark a little bit and changed out the taunting mirror dudes that people are using. It's a good way to possibly distract the boss if the AI even cares to attack them, but what we have here is 4-piece tells and 6-piece Firebirds. So literally all I'm doing is I don't really care about the meteor on the 2-piece. I care about the 4-set with the increase to resistances by 25% after I've dealt every element of damage, and I'll show you kind of how that stacks. I'll leave this panel up and it's going to impede my view a little bit, but I mean the demo is pretty necessary, I think. Yeah, see, so I've dealt every damage. My toughness went up. It's not even done yet. So I'll just leave the panel here. Because there's more things I can do to increase my toughness, as you can see. Very GG. So really that's part of the thing I was going for with running this. So that's part one, where you're looking to really deal each type of damage with something on your bar. Get your res up, get your toughness up, and just spike it. So you want to keep spamming those things and have actually these things on a much closer, tighter ratio, like 10-to-1. So this should be more around 50 and this should be around 500, honestly. The other part of it is the Firebirds. So you want to cast or disintegrate, stack up to 50, and then deal a non-channeling spell, which we have on our bar, which is Explosive Blast. That should also line up with your Fire Cycle, which we are not on yet. The chains will continue to burst while I'm channeling if I set it off. So I'm assuming that should coincide. I did change one element of this, and I don't think I changed the cube back. Let's double check. Death Wish? Nope, that's correct. So what I had before was an ancient Ethereal Oculus with basically the Furnace elite damage on it and Power Hungry. This passive isn't great because you need to be far away. This one I felt was a little better because I could get Blur and put on Audacity instead because of just the proximity to the enemies, but really we're also looking for elemental exposure, and how you'll see it is a little cloud above the mob's head. Just keeping in mind that you won't see it on your bar. It's not a buff to you, it's an enemy debuff. So because it doesn't affect you, it's going to show kind of on the enemy instead of your own bar, and that is very important to keep in mind. Either way, I think the damage is fine. I have a toughness gem in here, which is the alteration for non-physical damage reduction. I have the Teguk and Bane of the Trapped, usually, you know, pretty good choices. What I could do to optimize this a little better is ditch Vitality here and get Disintegrate damage here and here. This gives me 7 arcane power on crits. Right now I have 11 coming in on crit, but I don't need it. You can do a lot of rejigging of these pieces just to kind of min-max everything else, and I still think your damage would be pretty well okay. Resistances are important, but they're not as important as armor because that's not something you get regularly, and you can also play around with reducing the overall resource cost. The one piece of gear I didn't mention was the Ashnagars, again for defense. You can go a little off the board with it too. There's nothing else too special about this build, but really we have one of each element. So we have Static Discharge, we have Disintegrate with Chaos Nexus, Teleport with Safe Passage for safety. If you wanted to switch something up, you could go Calamity to deal damage with that, but it's not usually great for substituting the armor that you would otherwise have. Explosive Blast with Chain Reaction. Storm Armor, again for myself, just protection. We don't have a Halo of Carini, so it's not scaling and making this any better than what Ashnagars is giving me, which is fine. Frost Nova with Bone Chill. So really you're just looking to, again, debuff the enemy. Evocation, Audacity, again, Proximity. Unwavering Will, just for toughness again. And I wasn't really dying very much. Here we have Blur, and here is the Messerschmitt's Reaver passive skill, which just reduces the cooldown of a skill by 1 second when you slay an enemy. That's more for packs. That's not going to work at all for bosses. Unless there's ads. Asterisk. This amulet could be better. It's $10.99, but you want fire damage, crit, socket, and you want it to be ancient at least to re-augment the main stat on there. Otherwise, nothing unusual. D3 builds are fueled by +5 main stat, so at the end of the day, you can run this or the Guilds or Captain Crimson's trimmings, have the regen, have the bonuses for the cooldown that trimmings has, for example, and still deal very decent DPS. I think people are just gravitating towards what's there because of the taunt that your mimics give you. The AI in this game isn't great in the first place, but what can you do? Yeah. Orb of Infinite Depth. Oh, what is it? Did I not demonstrate? My cube, right? Okay, so Mantle of Channeling, Rail Ring of Grandeur. This one is like absolutely necessary. This is just, again, damage and toughness while channeling because we have Disintegrate, and Death Wish because it's a damage boost when we're spewing fire. I'm not sure whether any of this is going to get patched because the main buff was to Ina's. Either way, Firebird feels pretty good. I started on Veers, which is the reward for this upcoming season. But do whatever you want. Yeah, have fun. I think this can easily end up in the hundreds or very close to the like 130s that are being run, especially with the stacking toughness. I think that's pretty realistic. It's just going to take a lot of farming and min-maxing. But anyway, hope you enjoyed. I'm not going to put it on a build planner because this is really just the first iteration of the PTR. And there's no sense really in doing that yet because nothing is final. But anyway, thanks for watching. I stream sometimes on twitch.tv/deathclock1637, so I hope to see you there. I also have a podcast. It's called The Near Death Experience. You can find it wherever you listen to your podcasts. Currently, we're partnered with Verbal as a ambassador, which means I'm just curating content every once in a while. You don't have to listen to the podcast there. The main source is Podbean. Anyway, if you like this video, you don't have to do anything except watch it. yeah, see you later. Hope to see you on stream. Peace out.